Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to introduce you the React.js syntax. So if you take a look at this line of code, it will first look very weird because we have an unusual mix of JavaScript and HTML. So we have a counts variable assigned to an HTML element ending with a semicolon. This type of syntax is something called JSX. JSX is a syntax extension for JavaScript. It was written to be used with React and it looks a lot like HTML. Despite the fact that it is a JavaScript syntax extension, it still cannot be read by a web browser. If a JavaScript file contains JSX code, then this file will have to be compiled first. It means that before the file reaches the web browser, a JSX compiler will translate it into regular JavaScript. JSX elements are treated as JavaScript expressions. It means that the JSX element can be saved in a variable, function, object, or an array. Just like HTML elements, JSX elements can also possess attributes. A JSX attribute is written using HTML syntax. We have a name, followed by an equal sign and a value. This value is wrapped inside in quotes. A JSX element can also possess multiple attributes just like in HTML. When it comes to nesting JSX elements, we have a simple rule. A JSX expression must have exactly one outer element that wraps all the other elements. For example, this piece of code will not work since it's not wrapped by an outer element. We have to add an outer element like a div so that the first opening and the final closing tag belong to the same JSX element. So we just add div So as you can see, we are not getting any errors anymore because we have div as an outer element. So we have already learned how to write JSX elements. Now it's time to learn how to make it appear on screen. This process in React is called rendering. When it comes to rendering things on screen, we will always need to import a JavaScript library called React DOM. React DOM contains several React-specific methods. One of these methods is React DOM render. React DOM render is the most common way to render JSX. This method takes a JSX expression, it creates a corresponding tree of DOM nodes and adds that tree to the DOM. That is the way how JSX expressions appear on screen. React DOM render method contains two arguments. The first argument is what will appear on screen, and the second argument is the place where it will appear on screen. So let me show an example. We are going to print a JSX expression into an ID called app. As you can see, we are getting this JSX expression printed inside an element with an ID equal to app. We could also use a variable as an argument since the argument doesn't have to be a JSX expression. An argument should be only evaluated to a JSX expression in order to be appended. For example, we are going to create a counts variable called to-do list. And this will be equal to several list elements wrapped inside an unordered list element. So li then we pass it as the first argument to our render method. As you can see, we are getting the list printed. In this tutorial, you have learned how to create and render elements. In the next video, I'm going to show you what React components are and how they work. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe in case you don't want to miss another videos.